And here we are, Angela. And
Hello.
you
Ça
are,
va bien?
ça va bien? Ça va très bien. We usually speak French together or Italian,
Yes.
but let's speak English maybe for all our world audience. Where are you? I think you are
Because
very
English now is à la mode.
à la mode. Yeah. So where are you,
Yeah.
Angela, right now?
Right now, I'm on my sofa. Kidding. No, I'm in. I'm in Bucharest because so I have two homes in Lugano and Bucharest. And for this situation, because Lugano is really near Milano,
Sure.
I choose. So
Great. How is the situation as far as COVID-19 is concerned in Bucharest?
and Bucharest, not so bad till now because yeah, till now because everybody's home because we have a military, you know,
Yeah. Couvre-feu, curfew, or something like
restriction.
that.
Yeah. And because of that, everybody they are home. Only if you have a job, you need a paper, and but all the other things still, it's comfortable because I can order from home everything I wish.
Right.
Everything I wish. So then in this way, we don't need to go outside.
Right.
I'm from more than 1 month really. I just made a recording and a video, you know, for the Easter, for the Orthodox Easter, and that's all. So if you want to do it, you find solutions still to sing. So I sang and I filmed.
that is amazing, and I'm so grateful that you are taking the time to have this conversation with me for the mass opera, and it's very nice of you.
Like your fault, and it's first time on my life to do, you know, this chatting.
But you will see it's fun.
Video chat.
No, but you see, it's a lot of fun. I have done this with some of your colleagues already, and we think at Dallas Opera that, and most of companies are doing this now, that the stage, at least for now, has moved to the screen. And we need to stay relevant online, on social media, also offer to other people on YouTube some of our content and so on. I think it's very important. Of course, we miss the stage. Of course, we miss the real present. I miss hugging you and so on. How do you live? How do you feel? How do you experience this being away from the stage now?
It's like, in fact, we had it before all of this. We had it before. Now we have only the internet.
Right.
We have only because everything you mentioned before on the internet, all the social media, some, of course, sometimes from the cinemas when it was live, you know. Okay, we had that before, all of us, but now it's just seeing our past, our history.
Digging in the past, yeah.
And thanks God, some of us, we have huge past and beautiful memories. But at the same time, I don't want to be hypocrite. This is a very difficult time. We try mentally and psychologically to keep us occupied, and you know, I put a nice DPS and having makeup, and I do this sometimes also when I'm home, just for me. But of course, I prepared a little nice corner, not to, because we have our privacy in the same time.
Sure.
And I'm not a fan of singing from my house.
Right.
I'm not that. And at the same time, I think we also to think that for the public is to make them to dream.
Oh, so I'm losing you.
I lost you.
I lost you too for a second, but here you
I
are.
lost.
Here you are back.
Yeah, what I try, yeah, it's okay think also from home, ideal, because it's our privacy. And if we can do in a way to sing in a nice places where we are with nice colleagues, or maybe one instrument, or to find solutions. But the public, they need to dream, and they need to keep the mystery. And I think we must be careful with what we do from now on.
Right.
This is my opinion.
No, I think you're totally right on the two accounts. First, the privacy, and actually it's interesting when you see some of those broadcasts, you know, and you hear singers singing, and the only thing I'm looking at is, oh, that's her dining room. Oh, that's the living room. Oh.
Because no, but it's like I don't want to show you everything, because you go, oh, no, because I have my own space.
The mystery is part of the standing, of course.
Yes. Yes,
no, when
sound is not good. It's like we make fun of us. So it's like something. You know, you need to have a sense of humor. Very.
Yeah, a very solid and strong sense of humor, and a certain self-depreciation or irony of some.
Yes, and at the same time, and I don't think that 1 year, because I don't see if in 1 year we are on stage. What do you think?
I don't know. I think we will have several waves, but very clearly, theaters, movie theaters, and opera houses will be the last one to reopen. And it seems right now that
sport also.
Yes.
The sport, sport,
But
they have the same situation.
But in the US, at least, the sport industry is a big lobby, and they will push for reopen all they can. I don't know if the opera houses have the same kind of power. Now what we hear.
There to fight.
Yeah, we're prepared to fight. On the other hand, you don't want to be open too early if it creates a situation where we need to go in confinement again for several months. So that dosage is going to be very difficult to find. We were studying this morning, and there is maybe this option that we will have, you know, every other row in the theater is going to be empty. And then every 2 other seats you will be able to sit. So you have a capacity that is less than 25%. That's economically very hard to justify or even to make work. Some houses have still in Europe canceled events that are in June. It seems to me not realistic.
It's all canceled. Let's say all it's canceled in Europe. For this season, it's kaput.
Yes. Until probably midsummer somehow.
No.
You think?
Because I spoke with some your colleagues, some directors. What I understand till now, that also the festival, because I had also in my schedule. Of course, I like everybody. The loss, it's huge, but on my understanding is that for this season, that's.
Most probably, yes. So, I mean, some events are not, let me rephrase this, are not officially canceled yet. So some, but they...
The same, because it's like, you know, for the mentality, for the
spirit.
Oh no, the spirit, if all the theater in one day, they said, see you next year, next summer, in 2001, it's more reasonable. Otherwise, everything, in fact, it's done little by little for our mental health.
Yes, and so that is the huge difficulty we have as artists or as presenters, is to plan, not knowing exactly what will be. And at the same time, you need to be flexible, and you do need to anticipate, you need to budget.
Yeah, but how can you do, because I don't understand. So everybody who lost everything from this season, you cannot put in the next season because almost everybody the season it's done, or
Correct.
in 2 or 3 seasons.
So
It was lost. It's lost forever.
not entirely. So it depends if you are an opera house or an orchestra, and it depends how many years in advance you are planning. So that means, but this is a very good question. That means that some of the concerts, for instance, that have been canceled for my orchestra in Prague, I cannot reschedule for the 2021 season, but I can already put them on the beginning of the queue for the 21-22 concerts that I have not planned yet. So I will try to move some of these concerts, past concerts, I will try to move them in that time. For some opera houses, it's more difficult if they've planned 5 or 6 years in advance. Are you there, Angela? You're frozen again. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Angela?
I'm here. You are? Yes.
Yeah,
voilà.
Yeah. Did you hear me?
C'était toi pour la première fois.
Let me see what's going on here.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just saying it's different for orchestra and opera houses. But we'll see where it goes. How is the connection now, Angela? Is it better?
Good. It's
good. Great.
Good. It's good.
So one thing we might be able to do are maybe some recordings at least. So because you can be more confined and so on. Exactly. The last time we worked together, it was an amazing recording that we did together in Prague. And you were extraordinary. Do you like to do recordings?
It's my life. I believe in recordings, number one. For me, in all my career, from the very, very beginning, who really knows me, they believe that it's the recording and the video for me. It's the only testimony. It's my book. It's like a painter with the painting, the writer with the book. So an artist. Also, I believe in the recording in studio. The recording in studio, they are in the music industry.
Right. So
the recording, if you want to have like top on your career, you must have, like I felt all my life, when I record something, it was necessary to have the best of everything. So it was in my contract. It was the possibility. I had the possibility to choose the title, the orchestra, the conductor, my partners. So all the time I did this in the most perfect way. I had this chance.
Right.
So I believe in recording. So thank you very much.
No, it was a lot of fun. And, I mean, I have been a fan of yours for a very long time, even before we started working together. You have this very rare thing. I can count these people on my hand in these music, that your voice is recognizable and your interpretation from the very first sound one hears. You say, this is Angela Gheorghiu.
Angela. You can call me. So I must tell you that my family, now I tell you have in video, everybody in my family, they call me Gina.
Oh, that's cute. Gina, that's cute. Yes. But, I mean, I cannot hear Tosca, Rondine, Bohème. I cannot look at the score without hearing your sound. And this is such an incredibly even, velvety.
For me, in fact, my repertoire is not huge, but everything I did I mean, you must hear, it's like you must hear Traviata, it's a necessary, I mean, no, Faust, everything I record, it was for me something I was sure for that role. On my mind and all my life, never ever everything I was singing on stage on the recording was just a case.
Right. It was part of
Everything very well. So I use very much this.
Yeah, you
and
do.
this and this.
Yes, and this is also the resonators, and that's what's
Yeah.
that's what in the head.
It helps very much my teeth. I'm kidding.
Good. But so let's go back to this. When did you realize you had a voice, and how did that start, growing in your desire?
I never thought in my life that one day you make me an interview.
Well, of course, I want to know.
How many times? How many times? So I never think about that. I was born, darling. I was born with a voice. So everybody around me. So by the way, please read my biography, okay? Questo è numero uno. Number two, I tell you, if you don't know, and also for the people who never heard about my story when I was a child, I start with a leader with Brahms when I was 6 in a kindergarten. So because my voice was bigger than the others, so it was absolutely clear that I have a different voice, and I never sang like a child. I sang with impostation from the very beginning. I don't know to sing otherwise. I can now with the technique, but in that moment I sang all the time with la 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 all the time. And the voice for a child was so big, and because of that, my family, my teachers, and everybody, they had a different reaction, and they have completely other dreams for me. And I had with them the same dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I am the most important opera singer. I never thought in my life to do something else, and then I never thought that I will not do what
you were meant to do and what God made you. Yes, I know.
When you are a child, you are not thinking about God or something. In time, we become more more wise. We understand things. We understand about nature, or about your country, where we were born, about education, about your about your talent. But for the beginning, when you are born with a talent, you do because it's important. You cannot stop.
Right.
So,
absolutely. But
this is my very beginning.
Right. And so, but then it needs to be worked, it needs to be nurtured, and so on and so on. So you're
it's so long, the story, but I always believe what I must tell you, that I believe in school and in study. For me, the school was, I adored school. Each day I was so
unhappy. It's like normal school or vocal school?
Vocal school, no, Lyceum d'Arte, art Lyceum, how do we call that in United States? High school, okay? Yeah. High school of music from the age of 14 till 18, and then I had 6 years of Academy of Music, canto classic, and also, of course, all the other foreign languages, harmony, contrapunto, history of music, all ballet, acting, very good school.
Very good. And you are an all-round-up, singer, actor. This is very clear that what you bring is not only a voice. You bring.
No, and I was thinking about my country, why from Romania there's such beautiful voices and more ladies, more girls, no?
Mhm.
I remember Hariclea Darclay, Teodorini, Virginia Ziani, Cotrubaș, Maria Cebotari. They are singers in the history, and also composers. They compose for the first time for them. So huge history. We had also a very interesting, and please opera singers, listen to Nicolae Herlea. And today we have also a baritone. I must mention him because I adore his voice. We call him Ghiță, but his name is George Petan. Fantastic voice, baritone with a linea di canto perfetta. And what I tried to, just sorry, because I just want to finish my idea, to think why we have this, we are so easy with the foreign languages and style of music, because we are Latin in between Slavic countries, and we have a lot of, you know, what can I tell you? A lot of cultures in this area, and a mixture, and because the language is very Latin, that gives us more passion, and a bit what I say sometimes, that tear in the voice.
Right.
It's something urgency, something a little bit sad, but right. For opera it's perfect because we like to cry at the opera.
Right. And so there is, in fact, that natural sound of the language, but there is also all the culture that
helps, you know, for the vocal technique. If you don't go to Italy, for example, to have a very good school of canto, because if you want to be or to make a big career, bel canto, it must be a base for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No. To know exactly the line, the legato, technique, style, and everything. But if you are not going to Italy, if you don't have an Italian or Romanian teacher, you must be careful, because the language all over the world, even in fact all over the world, they have, because of the language, some. I can feel from the very beginning. I can tell you. Where is that person from? Where is that singer? But from the way, from the technique they sing. The Russian, like, they have like, it's something very wrong, very the vibrato for German. For German, it's very. I don't want to give you free master class.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm sure I will pay.
Anyhow, just to,
so do you think when you sing in French, you speak French fluently? And
because I learned French in my period when I was in school. French was the second language.
Of course, in Romania. But when you sing in French,
Italian.
Do you have an Italian technique, or you don't think like that?
In assoluto, number one.
Number one, yes.
Number one.
Even if it's
number one, italiano, l'italiano e la tecnica italiana è la base del canto.
Certamente. Okay.
Never forget. On that, we can do German, we can build French, and also French, for example, you have la facilité, the facility for high notes and a lot of kikiriki.
Right.
You have the most beautiful kikiriki singers.
No, that's true. That's true, and we love it. But you can do your kikiriki to sing too. But the thing I understand is Italian with you. You were saying also that the Romanian temperament is a Latin temperament, and you have this blood and this passion. When you are on stage, I mean, we did Rondine, we did Tosca, we did Hoffman, we did these recordings, we did some concerts. You are always 100% in the music, 100% in the vocal technique, and 100% in the drama. But you as a performer, as an Angela in this, how do you deal with this? How do you think, oh my God, I need to be careful, my voice is there, or I need to act more or less? How do you balance those components?
You don't, you must think about all this before when the performance starts. This is just I used my voice, I used the words and the music with my colleagues to build the performance. We all did the rehearsals.
Right.
I want to be part of that. And sometimes my colleagues, more men, because my partners, they are men usually than women. So all the tenors I sang, or baritone, because I sang with everybody from Luciano or others who passed away to the youngest one. Sometimes I heard that, Angela, relax. They asked me, relax. I cannot. I mean, in a way, please don't. You don't care about this. It's better not to to be so involved. But I cannot.
You cannot detach yourself, and this is.
I can. It's. In fact, it's what it's supposed to happen for everybody, and usually it happens also for my colleagues. Yeah, what I try to say from my colleagues when they said, relax, Angela, is just maybe sometimes a way to give me more force, not to have such emotion.
Well, and knowing Angela, if you ask her to relax, she's going to come back even with more.
Yeah.
But, and I understand this. Your commitment and your intensity on stage cannot just start on the stage. It's also all around there. But so you tell me the reaction of your colleagues. What do you expect from your colleagues? So what is it you want from a tenor when you are singing a duet? What is it you want from a conductor, and then maybe even a stage director?
Yeah. I start with the last one, the stage director. There, I think it was generally till now a misunderstanding. Because of my singing, sometimes directors, they think I'm not going to ask Angela because she will not do it. It's wrong. Because maybe they were so impressed about my vocally, and they didn't pass this emotion. You know what I mean? Because all the time I was waiting for them to ask me more, to push, to find another part of myself, Well, that's just a little bit from.
And I would just say, Angela, this is true, and I let you go on there. This is true also for me as a conductor with you. I never felt, I'm not going to tell Angela because she's Angela. I tell you, and then we discuss things. So I never felt like I could not tell you something. I'm always trying to find the right moment to tell you something. But this is working that way.
Yeah, it worked like that with conductors now, because you are a conductor, that I'm not like that. If somebody, but it's the way. If you ask me, because I had one time colleague of you who said, you do like this because I want to.
Oof.
Okay, so do it. So okay. And, but if it's like in music, it's the detail and c'est la façon de dire. It's the way you
say it. Yes, the way you approach the colleague and the artist.
And if you know how, if you do in a friendly way, I give you everything. I give you my heart.
Sure, you do. You are very, that I can absolutely attest to. You are a very generous artist when we are together.
And I'm the same with my colleagues.
You do play, you do interact.
You can ask them. I think this is also an interesting interview to have the most important colleagues and to ask other colleagues about them. Because never done that. It's just like.
Well, so now we're working on difficult territories, but
Yeah.
What do you think, let me phrase this way, what do you think constitutes a diva, and are you a diva?
Am I?
For me, you are, in the positive sense. That means you
But
have...
diva, it's only in a positive way. When it's negative,
Right.
it's in their head. But somebody who really, or it's in a behavior, or in a situation where people, they are fighting in a way. But otherwise, I never felt this this name, no, nickname, if you want, like I didn't. In fact, I don't want to defend myself. I mean, if somebody understand and knows what this means and where is the word, what the meaning of the word, I'm fine with it. And also, I must tell you, when I go on stage, do you think I'm thinking about that? Or when I'm studying, when I open the score to study, or when I'm with you colleagues, when I'm in the front of the mic, I'm all, no. This is when I finish the performance. Because the people, they need to put you somewhere. I mean, in the highest level, because they need this. I cannot sing better if you call me a diva.
No,
or worst. I don't know. This is a discussion we can have, in fact, with all the opera singers. But I not agree with the anti-diva, or I hate to be a diva. This is
no. This is
hypocrite.
Yeah. No, and I think you're talking about the positive aspect of being a voice that is recognized, a personality that is recognized, and someone who is bringing something quite exceptional that nobody else is bringing on stage. And you definitely have this.
And not only that, the way you do your career, the way you do your performances, the way you are speaking, the way you are dressed, or you are dressed to people, your behavior in general. This is very important. And you must leave people to dream with you. This is because also I don't believe in people who say, I'm singing for myself. Excuse me. No, all the preparation to sing for you. Nobody's hearing you. Nobody's paying you. Nobody's happy for you. Nobody's. It's impossible to say after such a preparation that everything we do all together as a family, operatic family, we do for ourselves. It's possible. Only for the general rehearsal. Right. in which general rehearsal is one of my favorite rehearsal. Or Sitzprobe also, when the orchestra hears me for the first time, because they're my first judge. I love that also.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there is a story of Kleiber doing such an amazing dress rehearsal of Rosenkavalier in Munich. I think it was in Munich or maybe Vienna. He said, "Oh, let's not do the premiere. This was so good. We're not going to find this again." Of course, I don't think you could get away with this nowadays. You work, and you have worked all over the world. You have worked in Europe. You have worked in the US. Do you prefer to work in certain houses? Do you prefer the work ethic in the US or in Europe? And how do you see the differences in rehearsing and scheduling?
Of course, we are singing mostly in Europe and the United States. Sometimes Canada, or more in the last. Oh, well, no, because I started in '93 to go
in
to
Russia.
Japan.
You have some.
I also like Asia. I like Japan. I like China. I like all these countries very, very much. I adore to be there also. Actually, in this month, in March, I had 5 concerts in China and also in United States. So I lost 10 concerts. Imagine, big loss. Anyhow, where I like to
Angela, we did a concert together for
where?
the Olympics in
Yes, in
I forgot.
remember the hall, Mamma Mia. Oh,
Yes, yes.
huge contrast. I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. The acoustic and everything. Okay.
So how is it different for you to work in those various cultures and countries?
I like everywhere. I mean, I like, it's like the Jewish people, they said my home is where I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, as you know, and a lot of people they know, I was married with a tenor, so we had different countries all the time, Switzerland or France. I consider myself still like a French, you know. I have a lot of French friends still there, and of course, with each theater, I have like my chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine I start in 92 in Covent Garden, in 92 Vienna, in 93 Metropolitan. So I never stopped since. So each year it was another challenge, because it was another role and new production. I was spoiled enough, but what I try to tell you that sometimes my heart goes to Covent Garden, for example.
Sure.
Because I really did
Sure.
many things, but at the same time I miss United States. I miss Metropolitan, Los Angeles, or San Francisco, or Chicago. That the theaters I sang in, or Washington. Yeah, and in my life it was, of course, a time when another countries was more attractive for me, and we cannot be, as you know, in the same time everywhere.
Right. So
Yeah.
so talking of Covent Garden, where definitely.
By the way, where you are in?
I am in California right now.
Yes,
I'm
California.
confined in California, and
you took this interview for?
we're doing this interview for the Dallas Opera, where we cannot wait
Here
to
we are. I never sang in Dallas. I never been in Dallas.
So this is a good segue. Carla,
But you know, my debut in Dallas is speaking.
yeah, no, it's we definitely want to do this, and
Okay.
you know, this is the opera houses where Callas had a huge history. So talking, you know, we did in Covent Garden, we did Tosca. I think we did even 2 productions of Tosca together. For me, you are the Tosca today. There is no question. When you approach such an iconic role, where in a way, when we go to see Tosca, we go to see, you know, I was talking to one of your colleagues earlier, you go to see Angela in Tosca. And when you're on stage, it's not only Floria Tosca, it's also Angela Gheorghiu singing Tosca. What are your influences?
I must tell you something. You can mention my colleagues. I'm
No,
fine with
I was just talking with Sonia, who was a wonderful Tosca with us at the Met. So how do you, I mean, do you think...
You must take care of her voice, by the way.
I'm sure she is. I'm sure she is, but I will pass the information.
Do you have just one voice?
Yes.
But this
yes.
is not only for
no, that you talk about this. Sonia actually said, you know, people tell me I should not move forward. I should not do this. I should not do that. I just, like you said earlier, you have a plan. She has a plan, and she follows her instinct. And she says, okay, I try this, and then I sing it with my voice. And so far, I have not felt with her. You know, I was the same thing. Say, well, you know, really, Tosca in such a big house? She was terrific. She was
Yeah.
absolutely terrific. So you think of Birgit Nilsson, Callas. What are your iconic models as singers? Are they soprani or tenors? Or what? You mentioned a lot of these amazing Romanian singers, but out of the other countries' historical singers, what are your references?
So the premiere was Giacomo Puccini wrote it for Hariclea Darclay, Romanian soprano. And thanks to her, we have Visi d'arte, Visi d'amore, because Puccini, he didn't compose an aria for the leader role, imagine? And Hariclea asked Giacomo, please. So during the rehearsal, he composed an aria for her. That's why it's not part of the action. You can cut that aria, so the action is there. Of course, I listen to everybody. I must tell you, I'm an opera lover, a sincere one.
Really?
Yeah, I tell you.
Okay.
And when somebody make a career or somebody is noticed on a role, I wanted to hear. I want to hear the past. So I heard everybody who sang, not only Tosca. When I prepare a role, I want to know where from I go from. So this is it. And from this, where is my step? So I want to know and to hear everybody. And then after hearing everybody, I open the score. I do first the solfège, piano piano, and I read the text, etc. But when I start really to study, because I never had a teacher, a coach, or whatever from the age of 18, I never asked questions. Anybody, nobody. Everything I ever record, I done in this career, it was by myself. Studied like crazy.
So you don't have a coach even to teach
Never,
you?
not for nothing. Everything, all the preparation, it's me. Because I refused, because on my feelings, of course. I thought I was ready when I was 18, technically. And I send you my recordings from when I was 18 to hear the voice, to understand why I said that. And because I was ready, technically. And I knew it when I will do next role, and what role it will be. I have this feeling.
So you're saying then that you listen to recordings. So who are the iconic? What are the iconic?
You try to ask me to tell you a name, but I cannot, because I cannot, because it's like I like more, or 3 or 4 of them more than the others. I have a list.
Sure.
But if you are sincere, and not only you but us generally, if we are sincere in everybody, you can have. I like second act with that, the way she's doing this. The way, I mean, just the perfection. It's a matter maybe of the public. It's very subjective, but I cannot be subjective. I'm objective, because I need to study with myself, and I refuse to have a teacher or coach, model that I have from a lot of singers. I have a huge list, but I try to be myself, to do my mistakes, to be original. I have it's like an obsession for me to be original.
Right, right, and you are, and I think nobody is going to dispute that when you are singing a
But
role.
you know, if we, I don't want to be too long, but if we speak about roles, each role, I can tell you in this particular role, I like this and this and this and that.
So the best Visidarte, who beside Angela, who is singing the best Visidarte?
Visidarte, Claudia Muzio, the color of the voice, the color, perfect, morbido and squillo. Sometimes not everything, but I like her very much, Renata Tebaldi. Then the urgence and you know the way she says things, Calas, the personality, the color, and then the pianissimo Montserrat Caballé. Oh my God, the finale sometimes with no, oh my God. Oh, but of course, and then Rosa Poncel. Oh, this is on
a good list.
on Visidarte. And I have more than this, but because you will.
No, I got you to say a few names.
No, I'm sincere because now I want to return to my colleagues. Also, my colleagues and who is doing. There are two of them that are singing on my taste good today. Each of them, I'm speaking about Anna and Sonia on Tosca. Each of them, they have their own personalities, but in a way, and of course vocally, the modernity, of course, la façon de se tenir, you know. But what we have something in common, like we are with our hair, the face. We are like three sisters.
No, there are connections.
Something in common.
You know, there are connections there.
Yeah.
So talking of not, I'm surprised. I didn't know that you were never working with any coach on anything. I didn't know that part. Do you like to work with prompters? I mean, for me, let me just start by this. For me, a prompter is sometimes really in the way of the connection between the conductor and the artist. And I don't like prompters that start to conduct, because then if the artist is too much glued to the prompter, you lose that very intimate personal connection with the soprano, the tenor, the baritone, or the bass. How do you feel about prompters?
You know, sometimes the guy who is making the prompter, I had that, he became a conductor.
Right, sure.
You know that.
Sure.
Of course, it's a matter of, sometimes, let's speak about myself. And of course, I know my colleagues, what they are doing with and without. I'm used to sing with. Because it makes me, even if I don't look at, it makes me more comfortable.
Because you know you have someone, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I have an eye on me. You see, but I think I ask you something. Please relax on this subject. Okay. And maybe it's good to give you an audition.
Sure.
Oh.
You know, I mean, you have.
It's nothing.
It's very important. But I usually say, you know, you have the Italian suggeritore, you have the souffleur, and so on. And if it's the word and just a cue, I think it's a great security. But if the guy in the box starts to conduct too much, or the woman in the box starts too much, it can get in the way, or you have to, yeah.
But if you are a good artist, you don't care about that.
That is.
I mean, because they can be wrong also.
No, absolutely, and of course, and even
you are in such attention that I have ears everywhere and eyes everywhere, so I can feel immediately who is wrong. So it's like speaking about conductor. I don't, for example, what it's funny for me when you see on the hands of the conductor or face if we are wrong.
Yeah.
Or
So what?
Because let's speak about our crazy things, or
No, but I think we are wrong many times in many performances all the time. I think what is interesting is how we adjust, and it's about constantly adjusting. And you are definitely one of those artists who is in touch and who is in contact. So whenever you feel, well, I can feel that you understood that I was a little late, and maybe it's my mistake, or it's the third trombone who didn't enter. And I can see that you are processing that information, and you decide then, I'm going to push everybody forward, or okay, I'm going to give him a little time to fix it, and we move together. You are one of those artists who is having those conversations very intensely during a performance with the podium. There is absolutely no question about this. Let's talk then about, what's your best memory in any role or any performance?
I have an experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was first and last time in my life. I was doing the new production of La Traviata in Covent Garden with George Sholti. And it was for the first time for me, Traviata, first time for him. But he did something extraordinary for me. And who is doing this after hearing the story is just a copy. Okay, listen. He took the score. He left on the pit with the orchestra another conductor, his assistant. And during the entire opera, he was in all the level of the audience, all over the place with the score to hear my voice. And when he came back, he opened the score and he makes his notes, and he asked the orchestra, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to help Angela and to help the performance. And because of that, in this phrase, this and this and the orchestra play like this.
Mm-hmm.
Più forte, mezzo forte, piano. So all the nuance, he did really, he wanted to do it in this way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic. I mean, when I saw him, he did this in front of my eyes, in front of everybody in the orchestra, and everybody was so impressed. And of course, we listened to him, and that for an opera singer, in front of such a conductor and such orchestra for a new production of La Traviata, and we all knew it, that was a big event for us. I'll never forget, and thank him.
Right. That is quite an amazing moment, and he was one of those conductors who knew how to work with a voice. And
yeah, maybe because I heard a lot of stories. In fact, we are so complex because the same person can be in a way with a certain singer or a certain other person. We are not the same all the time.
Correct.
That's why, I mean, nobody's just a good guy and he lives and he's doing he's following. No, sometimes depends depends with the chemistry between the singers
and the moment too, so the level of concentration.
And also it was amazing to see at 82 years old a star, a big star, because George Sholti was a star of his moment, okay? Mm-hmm. Very big. And to see that he has the passion, or also to want to help me. I mean, he really pushed everybody. He asked television, Decca, they asked them to come to the opera house to hear me and to support me. Mm-hmm. I mean, a big star today. Mm-hmm. I don't have so many stories to see that the conductor wants to really to push or to make an important artist of a beginner.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, no,
So
it was a huge
that's very
gesture.
rare. That's very rare.
Right, right. That was a gesture that was incredibly smart and generous on his part.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
Now let's have another angle to this. What do you do when you have a partner on stage or in the pit that you feel is not supportive
Cheers.
enough? Is that your final answer? You just ignore.
Okay, tell me again.
If
Ask me, please.
if you have a partner on stage or in the pit that is not really helpful or is not understanding your needs, what do you do?
Mm, never happened. When I left, because I left 2 times the production, it was because of the mise en scène, you know,
The staging, yeah.
was the staging. But otherwise, no. I never had a with one exception that everybody knows. I have just only one story in my life. And when I said I'm not at the conservatory, ciao, arrivederci, e sono partita.
Sì, sì.
Okay, that's an old story.
Yeah, but whatever.
Forget about it. A very good conductor otherwise, but not for Pagliacci anyhow. And it was it was a fight of personalities.
That's the word I didn't want to say egos, but I say personalities.
Ego. And I'm not happy of that. I must tell you, I regret. I regret.
Uh-huh. That's very sincere of you.
Because it's true. I regret because it was a very good production, and we did a lot of work. And he came after 2 weeks. He was late at the rehearsal, so I remember I was at the one side and he gives the sign on the other side, you know, things like that, because when you don't know things happen. But when you know you are not prepared and you are coming after 2 weeks, oh, like a flower, you are more cordial, more, you know, and that's the story. But otherwise, I don't have no colleague, no conductor for a performance not to be in a because I need, when I sing with my colleagues, I need to be in love with them. I need to make them to please them. Sometimes maybe I'm a bit exaggerated because I'm an artist, hey. Or maybe I need more. I'm a real woman. I need the support to tell me I'm I'm the one.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because even if it's like a child, even a child also needs the same. But that gives me a lot of strength, and makes me feel, and my phrases, they are full of love, full of life. Okay, what's life? It's love.
Definitely. What?
If we don't have that, we are empty.
We are empty, and there is a generosity of the artist.
I don't like to be empty. I can't be empty. I'm all the time full.
You are. What are we're writing?
I mean, I try. I don't speak like that anyhow.
No doubt, you're full of life. You're not empty. You are very, very strong, powerful, and generous artist on stage. I mean, there is no comparison with.
You are maestro too, and it's a pleasure really to be with you.
What
and make music really.
It is always an immense pleasure, and to explore those masterpieces with you has always been for me extremely rewarding. What are the roles, we have to wrap up a little, what are the roles you have not done that you think you should?
I have a dream. I have a dream.
Okay.
I hope my dream will come true.
Tell me.
Manon Lescaut.
Manon Lescaut.
It's like, because all the time in the last years, because of course, as we know, I said all the time, be careful and just not now, not now. But I think now it's the time to do also the big roles on stage, like Don Carlos. I record Fedora, but maybe Fedora is also very good. I would like some also some Baroque music. I really adore, and I find some roles, some arias, wow, very tough, very, very interesting. And maybe it's time to do my Carmen on stage also. A little bit, yeah. And I also like Werther. I sang once with Werther. I love that. Yeah, also.
Well, Angela.
You know, et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera, et cetera. I cannot wait to be in the pit or in a recording studio with you and share this incredible love of music we both have with an immense artist, the immense artist you are. So we all love you. Thank you
very much. I love you too. And you know, je t'aime bien, ma chère.
And please take care of yourself. I hope the situation remains manageable in Romania now. Stay safe with your loved one in Bucharest. And really thank you for your time.
He sends you his love. And see you. See you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.